Hello, everybody. Ed Levine coming to you live on the VCDL executive page, VCDL page. Philip is having a few things he's got to wrap up before he comes live with you. But just because I've been getting pinged as far as when's the meeting going to begin, he'll probably be here in the next 10 minutes, 7:30. So I figured I'd jump on here until he actually can come on and tell you kind of what we know. There's been quite a few questions about whether carry is going to be allowed on lobby day. There were some special rules that were created by the Democrats and the Rules Committee, and those rules ended up being that there cannot be carry inside the General Assembly building. A couple people said and grounds. Grounds is not true. It is that we put out an alert, General Assembly building. There is also, there's some committee meetings that you saw in the last VA alert that we just put out with committee meetings and also action items to click on and email the committee as far as we don't want any more gun control. So as we wait for Philip, I'm seeing people jump on here. It looks like we're up to 162 people watching us live. While we're waiting for Philip, I want to say a couple shout outs here. We started a money bomb. When we have to file lawsuits, this is going to become a very expensive proposition. So we do have a money bomb that's on our Facebook page and on our Facebook group that asks for some donations. A lot of people have donated in other ways, bought gift memberships. They've bought bus seats down to lobby day. They've used our donate link at vcdl.org/donate, but also we have a GoFundMe to do a money bomb. I think we started it yesterday for $100,000. We're already at $12,000 or $13,000. Another way you can help is the Palmetto State Armory has created a Virginia lower, the Virginia 15, which is a stripped lower. And if you buy one of those and have it sent to your dealer, they're giving VCDL $10 for each one of those. In fact, I believe they're close to 5,000 sales, which would be $50,000 to the VCDL. And the week of the 20th, right after Lobby Day, when I'm out at SHOT Show, I believe Palmetto State Armory is going to present me a check for VCDL for $50,000. So if you have an inkling to buy a stripped lower, there is a Virginia 15 stripped lower available from Palmetto State Armory, where all you have to do is buy the lower, have it sent to your dealer, and then you get that's the same as donating $10 to VCDL. The money bomb, you can get to the money bomb by going to tiny.cc/VCDLMB for money bomb, and that will just try to get a lot of money in the coffers to get ready, because attorneys are very expensive, legal process is very expensive, and that's what we fight for. Is we fight for our rights. We've got 370 people now, and like I say, Philip should be joining us shortly. He's been doing a lot of work on the bills and the legislative agenda and just things like that, and he just kind of got bogged down. So rather than just have everybody sit and wait, I figured I would come on here till he does and maybe field some questions or see something that we know. I see a lot of hellos. I don't necessarily see any specific question. I did just put something on the page. There's a gentleman that's engraving magazines, and he's sending money. Here he is. Laser Edge Tactical. So he's engraving magazines with the VCDL flag logo, and for every magazine he sells, he's also sending VCDL $5. We're still planning on the Lobby Day rally. We're still planning on having our rally at the top of the Capitol steps. We've got a lot of great speakers that are going to be out there. We have supporters and buses. We have supporters and buses coming from around the United States that are coming in, and are going to bring a lot of people, a lot of supporters that are coming from other states, and we really appreciate that. If you are from another state, you might consider writing the tourism board in Virginia and saying, you know, I've got lots of money in my hand and I was considering a vacation, but if you guys don't let people carry in Virginia, we're going to choose another state that will, and there goes those tourist dollars that you might not have you might have had otherwise. And now that you're passing or trying to pass these draconian gun laws, we don't want to come to vacation in Virginia anymore because we won't be able to protect ourselves or our family. I see Chris says, is anybody surprised he said no guns inside? So they did have this, they did have a rule change. The Democrats control the House, the Senate, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, everything. So they did have a rule change. They got together and kind of behind closed doors, they created the rule that, you know, no guns can be carried inside. So it's not a law. A lot of people are like, oh, they're going to pass all the laws they can on the first day. They really can't do that. They did change the rule, but laws have to go through a process. They have to go through the committee meetings, get amended, changed, kicked out, killed, go to finance. All these things have to happen. And then on crossover day, which is February 11th, the bills cross to the other side, either to the Senate side to the House side to the Senate. Then they go through the same process. And if they ever make it all the way through and get signed, or there's some other processes where they can go through and become law without being signed. But bottom line is, the laws really don't take place till July 1st. So what can you do as a member? What can you do as a supporter is, obviously, again, keep donating. And I'm not trying to just be a money hog, but this stuff is expensive. All the Gun Save Live stickers, all the packets, all the printing, all the stuff all the mailing we have to do, all of that is expensive. Besides that, subscribe to the VA Alert, which is our email system, which you can subscribe at vcdl.org and click on the tab VA Alert, subscribe. It's a free service, because when something happens, when Philip is lobbying and something comes up and he needs people there the next day, or he needs people to write their senator and delegates about something, he will jump on and say, I need everybody to click this link and write their senator and delegate right now about this issue. And then bam, he wants 30,000 emails from you guys to get into their mailbox to tell him what you think. So that's what the VA Alert's all about. And that is our, the YouTube, the Facebook page, the Facebook group, all of that is supplemental. Hang on, this is actually him. Hello, sir. Well, no, don't worry about it. I told everybody on Facebook that you were working on some stuff and might not be able to make it live right now. What I could do, actually, I don't know how well this would work, but I could just hold the phone up to my computer and let you talk. You want to try that? All right, let me try that and let me see if people can hear you. All right, so we're going to try a little experiment here, folks. I'm going to hold up the phone to the mic here, and Philip's going to talk, and I'm going to need to see if you guys can hear what he's saying. So go ahead, Philip.
I will run a little test here and see if this audio is loud enough for you to do this.
All right, it's probably going to take them a couple minutes to get back to me to tell me if they can hear. We've got 528 people, 534 people logged in. I kind of talked about the rules on the grounds and the difference between a rule and a law and carrying on the grounds or whatever. So could you guys hear Philip on the phone? Somebody reply to me and tell me if you heard Philip on the phone. No, in a minute.
Okay.
I thought we would hear. Just need somebody live, somebody that's watching to tell me if they can hear Philip while he's on the phone with me.
I'll go test again. Look again here briefly, see if I'm audible on there. Let us know if this is going to work.
All right, let me type it.
I hate Facebook. Absolutely hate it. This is ridiculous. They came up with some authentication out of Clear Blue, and now we're supposed to just jump through the hoop. Why do we have to? It's just idiots.
Yeah, they're saying they can.
It's only Facebook. It's not like we're handling the finances of the universe. It's just a stupid chat group thing.
Right.
Why do we need authentication?
Right. Yeah. So they're saying they can't really hear you. So
Okay.
I guess if you get on, give me a shout back, and I'll just continue with what I know so that we can kind of update them.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
They said they could. Someone said they could hear you.
Okay.
So
right.
let me give me 1 second and try and get set up a little better. Actually, I have another idea. Everybody stand by just a second. I'm going to call you from my home phone so that it's clearer and louder. Okay. We're back, folks. So I'm going to hold the phone here next to the computer so that Philip can go ahead and talk. Go ahead, Philip.
Okay. All right. Just everything going on today. Facebook requires some new authentication and couldn't get it done. I'm stressed through the roof right now with all this. But all right. At least hopefully I can now communicate with you, take some pressure off. I was trying to get it done by 7:30, and I just couldn't. It was killing me. Okay, so I don't know what Ed's covered. I haven't heard anything. I'm sure I'll just repeat it for now. But look, the Democrats are playing games. They're trying to be as opaque as possible. They said they'd be transparent. They're lying. There's nothing transparent in anything they're doing. I went down yesterday to the General Assembly, and I talked to a few key people on the Republican side. They were told nothing. They were all out in the dark. Things that should be getting done aren't being done. In fact, this morning or this afternoon, the Rules Committee met to set the rules about carry it on the buildings and so forth. And nobody even knew as of last night who was on the committee that they were calling, the Rules Committee. Nobody knew who was on it. They didn't even know it was going to be called. They sent out a paper notice last night, I think around 7:30 or 8, to even say it was going to be a meeting. So finally the Republicans knew who was supposed to be there on their side to be on the committee. That's how bad this is. It's either Bozo Circus down there or it's just plain I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. It's totally insane. They don't know what they're doing, I guess, the Democrats. But anyhow, so the rule I'm sure Ed put out there was carry in the buildings is not allowed, even with a permit. But it is allowed outside the building, outside on the grounds. So this will not affect our rally. The only people that be affected is if you got to go in the building. You can't bring your gun in there. So I've got some thoughts on that. One might be to do like a little team system. Maybe a few of you go to the General Assembly. One of you is armed, and he stays outside. Everybody else goes in lobbies and then comes out. So you've got one person that provides security for everybody else in your little group, and that way you guys are free to go lobby, but you're also not out there helpless. And we have a right to defend ourselves. This whole thing is, and again, let me tell you something right now. The Democrats tried to blame this on the Capitol Police, and the press went to the Capitol Police, and the Capitol Police chief said, nope, we didn't ask for this. So the Democrats were trying to pawn off that, no, they would have been okay, but the chief of police wanted this. No, he didn't. And I believe that. So they've had no problem with us. We had a great relationship with the police. No, this is the Democrats lying about this whole thing. Then really late in the afternoon, suddenly, all of a sudden, a bunch of bills were added to the committee meeting for Monday morning. I had already looked at the committee meeting. There were no gun bills. There was no reason to notify you guys to turn out, waste your time. There were no gun bills. And then about, I think it was 4:35, whatever it was, suddenly they appeared. I just happened to check, and all of a sudden, bam, they appeared. And you could see, and they noted that they had been added. And sure enough, those were all the gun bills. So they are playing games big time. And we're not done. They're not done playing games. They've got nothing to go on their side for all of this. They've got no reason to do any of this, and they know it. So they're trying to hide, obfuscate. We have got their attention. They are scared to death of us at this point, but we cannot let them get away with this. We need to turn out on Monday. There's a link, and I'm sorry about the mess. I had to send out like 2 or 3 alerts. It's a new system, and luckily I caught what was happening, but you guys weren't getting the right alert sending out to the committee. I got the final one that says updated, updated alert. It was the 3rd one that came out today, updated alert or something. That was the original with the correct URL to click on to send the message to the key people on the committee. It's going to 4 people on the committee, unless you're a constituent of the others, in which case it'll also go to them. But everybody is sending it to the 4 key people on that committee. 3 Democrats that are in very green districts, and 1 that's Saslaw. He just needs to hear from all of us with his attitude and everything else. So I hardly had a chance to even look at email today, guys. I'm almost behind 15,000 now. I couldn't get off the phone. I couldn't get off texting. I did multiple interviews today, and we are. I don't know. I think you get the idea. This is, I've never seen anything like this, even close. I'm used to being in a hurricane. I was here during the Virginia Tech massacre and so forth, when the phones were ringing 24 hours a day. This makes that look like child's play, absolutely child's play.
Philip, let me interrupt you just for a second, because it looks like Pat chimed in and said, don't let this deter you from going in the building. It's very important that we still have delegations go inside the building and go talk to the lawmakers. There's 613 people still watching us live, and Philip, you can continue.
Okay, yeah, well, of course, don't be deterred by this. This is exactly what they want. You have to understand that. That's exactly what they want. They want you deterred. Oh, they can't bring their guns. Good. Now they won't come in. The hell we won't come in. Yeah, we'll come in. Because we've got to win this battle. We can't let them throw some little thing like, oh, you can't carry there and shut everything down. That's exactly the opposite message. We need to show up anyhow, just like we did in Prince William when they played games up there and they tried to move the meeting till 2 in the afternoon, and we still flooded the building. We need to flood that building even bigger now that they're playing these games. They want to ban guns, fine. We're still going to be there. We're still watching. And we're not going to let anything slide by. And our mood isn't getting any better with every stupid move these people are making that's only adding fuel to the fire. I mean, they're I don't know what's the matter with them. They're either the stupidest bunch or the meanest bunch, or they want to have trouble. I don't know what it is. They don't need to keep magnifying this, but they keep doing things one after the other that's poking all of us in the eye, and we are not the problem. We are the good guys.
There was one of the senators I saw put out a post and said, they're banning guns in the building and they're banning guns on the grounds, and I called her out on it, showed her the rule, and then it was like, oh, oh, my mistake, my error, I'm going to send out a correction to that. So if something doesn't sound right, check with us, watch our Facebook page, make sure you subscribe to the alert, and listen and verify so that you know what you're getting is the correct information.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know which senator that was. I mean, I know. For example, Senator Cleave said it wrong, but I talked to her right away. I only was going by what I'd heard. I hadn't seen it. She corrected her stuff. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of false information. You've got to come. We try to verify this. I called the chief of the Capitol Police to make sure I got it right. I read the thing, and I didn't see anything about grounds, but I even went the extra step of calling the chief of the Capitol Police to confirm, and it was confirmed that the grounds and everything outside the buildings is all fine and dandy. It's just in the buildings. So yes, if you come on Monday, you'll have to leave your guns in the car. I'm sorry about that, but you'll be leaving your guns at home forever if you don't get down there. And we don't stop these bills. It's a temporary thing versus a permanent thing. We've got to go in there. We've got to get there early and flood that room. I want the room flooded. If you can get there at 7 o'clock, that's even better. Let's grab those seats, fill them up before anybody else gets in there. Bloomberg may be shipping down a bunch of people since he's probably tuned into all of this stuff. So we need to get there early and get the job done. We'll be having somebody handing out the Gun Saves Live stickers. You can speak if you want when they call. That's fine, and that's fine. We can do that. But maybe we should. Maybe we should just line them up out the door and down the hall, and we can sit there for the rest of the afternoon. And they've got some other bills mixed in there, so we're also going to have to sit through non-gun bills, possibly. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to start with the gun bills, or they're going to start with the other bills and come to the gun bills later, if they're going to mix them all up. Got no idea. I don't think they know. I mean, it's just the most messed up situation down there since the Democrats have taken control. Everything is upside down and sideways, and nobody's being told anything.
So, I think they generally try to plan it to make it the most inconvenient they can for gun owners.
They really are trying any way they can to not be around us. They can pull some other tricks. We'll see what other tricks are up their sleeves. But I've got some input on some things I'll be watching for. There may be some other tricks they're going to try and pull to avoid even being around us. So because they know they're up to no good. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing is wrong. They know it's targeting the wrong people, and for that reason, they're doing really bizarre things right now.
Okay. Let me see if there's any questions, because I've been kind of holding the phone and not really.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm unloading. I've had it this crap, and we've got to fight back. And the harder they push us, we got to push back twice as hard.
Yeah, you guys are right. They are trying to discourage you from attending, so we just got to change that. As Pat Webb, who's following along under the VCDL page, he's like, do not leave a gun unlocked in a car where visible, because there's been a lot of vehicle break-ins. So make sure your gun is secured in a gun safe, or give it to one of your buddies. Especially, Pat was talking to me earlier about maybe even having a backpack or a fanny pack type thing, that if you're going to go inside the General Assembly, that you can securely put your firearm in your fanny pack and hand it off to one of your friends that would have a concealed handgun permit to stay legal, go in and lobby, and then come back out when you're done.
You could have one person outside, holding your fanny pack. And with the fanny pack, you wouldn't be actually handling the gun at all. That's a very safe way of just handing it to a friend and him handing it back, and they could even snap it on if they wanted to, just to conveniently hold it. But of course, they can't hold 50 people's guns. But if you got a friend going and they're willing to stand outside, you can alternate. I don't know, but it's something to think about. But either way, it may be easier to just leave the gun in the car. Leave it up to you. Believe me, I don't believe the Capitol Police are happy with this, but they're stuck with it. And we're not happy with it, but it's not going to deter us. It's just one more reason that we can never let tyrants get control of the government. You think this is something, just wait till these people really can unload on us. This is nothing.
So, Philip,
we got to fight this.
can you explain the difference between a rule and a law?
Okay, sure. A law is something passed by the General Assembly, something that has a punishment associated with it, and goes through the entire system of the General Assembly and the governor signing. A rule, and look, if you don't want anybody coming in your house with muddy shoes, that would be a rule. The police aren't going to come and arrest somebody that walked into your house with muddy shoes. They would look at you. That's not illegal. A rule, if you break a rule, you've not done anything illegal. You simply broken a rule that somebody has. Now, where it becomes significant is if you walk into somebody's house with muddy shoes and they say, get out of my house, and you don't get out of their house, then that's trespass. Trespass doesn't care why you're asking them to leave. It could be for any reason under the sun. All that matters is the owner of the property said leave, and you didn't leave and you won't leave, and therefore the police come to make you leave. And so with the rule, you're not going to be arrested if you break it, but you will be asked to leave or to correct whatever problem it is. You know, put your shoes on or whatever, but you won't be arrested for that unless you insist and won't leave. Then you'll be arrested for trespass. So you have to go out of your way to get in trouble with a rule.
Okay, another question was, does the rule cover just the General Assembly building or all the buildings at Capitol Square?
Well, technically it covers all of the buildings controlled by the General Assembly on Capitol Square. So it wouldn't affect buildings that have the executive branch buildings. So this really, in practice, I think the only buildings around there that are the General Assembly and the Capitol building. I think those are the only two in that area that they control.
Okay, someone was asking about bringing signs. Like, can they bring signs? I think there's rules about. I think there's rules about sticks, though, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask. I played telephone tag. I finally got a hold of the Capitol Police, and I totally forgot. Pat had reminded me to ask. I totally forgot. Just too much going on. I'm sorry. Historically, they don't want signs. They don't want anything. You can put nothing in the ground. You can't attach anything to any structure or trees. I think it's okay. Yeah, you know what? I'll have to check and just get back just to make sure on the sign situation. It could be you can't have a pointy end on it, or it could be they don't want anything on a stick. So for now, I'll just hold on that. We'll have an update at some point. I think Pat's putting together something in general to cover all the stuff about Lobby Day that will be going out probably next week or whenever she's ready. And then we'll hopefully have signs in there. So I apologize. Just brain dead right now. Go ahead.
How about the open carry of knives? Pat just wrote, no knives in the building. You might put someone's eye out. I should have read it before I read it.
Yeah, no, you can't. I think that I have to bring the rule up, but I almost want to say I saw something about blades less than 3 inches. That would be kind of new if that's true. Tell you what, Ed, if you want to talk for a minute, let me look on my phone. And I got a photocopy of my phone of the rules. Let me see if it mentions blades less than 3 inches.
Okay. So while Philip looks that up, if you want to read the rule directly yourself, we have posted it on our Facebook page. I included it also. If you go to the Capitol legislation page, it was kind of hidden, but now they've brought it front and center. If you click on visiting the Capitol, they've got big words that are like weapons policy that I'm sure they were very proud to put up there. And if it looks like a typed letter, it might have been from somebody else. The actual rules down the side is listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a numbered line of 182 lines, so that if somebody said, hey, on line 47 it says this, it's kind of a reference. So if you see the one with the lines and the numbers down the side, that's definitely the official rules of it.
Okay. Hold on. I'll speaker just a second here. So I can hear you better while I was looking. Yes, it turns out that the rules they used are basically similar to what you have for school. Although it's not a felony, like I said, it's just a rule. But it's similar. What I just read looked to me like it said a folding knife with a metal blade less than 3 inches would be okay. And I will try to triple check that, but that's what I saw right in the actual document. So I think you're okay with that. That may at least be better than nothing. But I believe that's going to be okay. We allow that on school grounds, K through 12. You can carry a blade less than 3 inches on a folding knife. Most of you probably knew that. I think they're doing the same thing there.
A couple people have asked about food and restrooms and things like that. I can tell you as far as food, there's a limited number of restaurants around the square. I've also invited food trucks from the Virginia Food Truck Association. However, there's going to be some street closings and things like that. So I don't know ideally how close they'll be able to get. But I would say if you're going to be there on your feet for a while, pack yourself some snacks. And I believe the Capitol themselves are going to furnish like porta potties, right, Philip?
Yeah, we're in VCDL furnishing the porta potties, but we had to have a place to put them, and they'll be along 9th Street. They were actually going to be in front of the Attorney General's office, which we thought was very appropriate. But then they moved them a little bit closer to the construction, but they'll be on 9th Street.
Okay, so those will be provided by VCDL for use, even though there's a lot of people inside the building that are quote unquote full of it.
But yeah, there will be those provisions. Water, I don't know what to tell you. We don't know about the food trucks, like Ed said. I don't know what's going to happen with that. The Capitol, Richmond kind of shook their head when we mentioned the concept. But if these guys are licensed,
they have their own license, their own insurance, all their own stuff. I talked to my contact at the Capitol Police, and he says that we can certainly inform our members and other people. They can go to the legislative website, click on the Capitol Police, and then sign up for the Capitol Police alerts. So if the Capitol Police have anything that they want to alert out to the crowd, in addition to our VA alerts, that you can sign up for their alert system as well and stay attuned to everything that's going on.
I would tell Pat that's a realistic thing to put on the once you put together what to do on Lobby Day, add that on there so people can know to check that.
Okay. Are pitchforks and torches allowed? Yeah. Don't ask me that today. Yeah, so it is a holiday. The General Assembly is in session. The parking meters are free. They're scarce. They're kind of scarce around the Capitol. And someone's asking about the shuttle between Diamond and back.
We do have a shuttle between the Diamond and back, several like this. Again, Tess and Layla have been busy getting all those kind of things all booked up. So yeah, we do have shuttles.
Yeah. So and we have buses. So there are. I mean, it's getting probably pretty tight. They're not going to add any new locations, but if there's a waiting list for a bus at existing locations and there's enough people to add a second or third bus, as the case may be, you can keep track of that on the bottom of the VCDL page or on the frequently asked questions page. Or if worst case scenario, you can't find what you're looking for, you can email bus@vcdl.org and talk to Tess or Layla, our bus coordinators. Kelly, answering Kelly, the alerts, we try and keep the Facebook page and group up to date, but there's sometimes kind of a free-for-all. So the official communication where Philip is going to put stuff out will be on the VA alert. Sometimes he tweets too, but generally when he tweets something, we copy it over to the VCDL Facebook page so you get it pretty quickly. But the official communications of VCDL is our VA alert email list, and you sign up for that at vcdl.org.
Being the Twitter does have some advantages. At VCDL_ORG. It does have some advantages. I can go tweet things out sometimes really fast before I have a chance to write them up for VA Alert. And by tomorrow, I'll be speaking at Culpeper County Second Amendment Rally. For those of you in that area, you might want to go to that. I've got, it starts at noon. It's at 402 North Main Street in Culpeper.
Okay.
So,
Pat also said we have 4 of the 55 passenger buses that will be shuttling between Diamond and the Capitol area. Eric asked, what do we do about any antis or Antifa or anybody that confronts us?
Excellent question. Glad you brought that up. Very glad of that. Okay, look. First of all, we don't even know if Antifa is going to be. It looks like they won't be on our side if they show up, believe it or not. Stranger things have happened, and this is just another example of what probably could happen there. So the only people that could be on the other side are going to be the bombs that bust down from New York. But anyhow, all right. But we don't know. We don't know if somebody else might try to antagonize somebody into saying something or doing something. Look, if they're going to disrupt things, what they'll probably do is have somebody surreptitiously recording with their cell phone video, and then have somebody else come up and basically try to irritate you, make you angry, threaten you, something to get you fired up. And then, of course, the cameras are rolling, and then they'll use that as a sort of propaganda. Oh, see these evil gun people. Look at the temper on this guy. Nobody even said anything to him. He's yelling at this person. So, no, don't fall for that. Be prepared. If anybody does anything that's striking you as they're trying to cause trouble, that is their intent. First of all, don't fall for it. If that happens, just walk away. And I would walk away, find the nearest police officer, and bring him back, tell him what happened, and let him deal with it. The police are not going to be in the mood for somebody out there being a provocateur. So, and we don't want to fall for that. If anybody comes up like that, figure it's a trap. Figure that somebody's recording you, and just walk away. Do not get wrapped up in it. You might tell the people around you in the crowd, hey guys, if anybody does this, just go tell the police. Don't get wrapped up. There could be people trying to stir trouble. Don't fall for it. Spread that word when you're out in the crowd, because not everybody gets VA alert.
And keep your own cameras at the ready. A lot of people are friends of mine that are going to wear their own body cams, just to have a digital record of whatever happens.
Absolutely.
And kind of keep.
Absolutely. I'm going to have the same thing, a body cam on as well, as opposed to leadership and other people in this. And we're all going to have body cams.
All right. Someone's asking you to address the long guns and plate carriers and full kit and all that.
Okay. Yeah. Again, with everything going on, look, people are free. The last thing VCDL has ever done is told people you have to carry or you can't carry unless it was the law. You're adults. You carry however you want. Carry whatever you want that's legal. However, if your intent is to really support VCDL, we're asking no long guns, no kit. This is about lobbying. This is about, just being regular citizens down there, lobbying. But, there are those that, could bring rifles. Well, that's their choice. We did put on the alert, the laws, so that at least they knew what the laws were, so they didn't break them. But I just, just think in this scenario, it's really not the most helpful thing that could be, because of the press. The press are going to focus on the rifle carriers, and they're going to ignore everything else. It's all going to be a story about them and how all these people with rifles all showed up. And our message about this whole unconstitutional set of gun laws they're pushing will be lost on those guys with the rifles. That's probably going to happen anyhow. But I at least wanted people to understand that they did that. At this stage, and at this particular type of event with the press there, they're not helpful.
Okay. Let's see. I saw a question talking about, so if you have your concealed carry permit, you can obviously carry concealed, and it's gonna be pretty cold out probably anyway. If you're open carrying and you're coming from somewhere other than Virginia, Richmond is one of those places that if you have a threaded barrel or a extended magazine or some of that type of stuff, I have to read it. It's 18.2.
I think
yeah.
18.2, 287.5. more. Yeah, if you're open carrying and you don't have a concealed carry permit, a concealed carry permit exempts you from this. But if you're open carrying without one, yeah, you can't, and you've got a center fire pistol. If it's a rim fire, none of this applies. But if you got a center fire pistol, you can't have a magazine in the gun that'll hold more than 20 rounds. You're good up to 20, but you can't do 21 or more. So, or you can't have a threaded barrel. So if you've got a pistol that you've got threading on there to put on a suppressor or a flash suppressor, anything like that, you can't have that at all, regardless of the magazine size, unless you've got a concealed carry permit. So you don't have a permit, magazine 20 rounds or less. There's no limit on the number of magazines you can carry on you, and just no threaded barrel. And that's pretty much it for a pistol. For a rifle, no folding stock, and again, no threaded barrel, no magazine that, in the gun that will hold more than 20 rounds. You could have a 30 rounder on your hip or something, but you can't have it in the gun. Again, with a permit, you're exempt from all of that.
Okay. Saw a question, already scrolled who it was, but you do not have to be a Virginian to be a VCDL member. We have members from around the world. Membership is only $25 for the year. And because of what's going on in Virginia, our core membership coordinator is about 3 or 4 months behind in getting out your membership card. The easiest way to join is go to vcdl.org and click join. You pay via PayPal, I think it is. It doesn't give you it doesn't collect a bunch of information from you or anything like that. The moment you get your PayPal receipt in your email, we've already got your information transferred over to us.
Yeah, with a PayPal account, you don't enter your name or address. It's automatic. You thought about, oh, I paid, but they never asked me for my name and address and phone number. Well, that's because you have an account with PayPal and you've already provided it to them, and they just auto-provide it to us.
Okay. Would you recommend carrying or not is a question.
Look, again, we leave it up to you as an adult. Would I be carrying? Oh, yes, I would. That's just me. But, you know, it's completely up to you. You're going to be in a crowd surrounded by gun owners. So, I can't imagine anybody trying to rob anybody in this particular crowd. But, you know, it's completely up to you. It's a crazy world out there. For me personally, I carry everywhere I can legally carry.
Yeah. There's a couple people asking about some fundraisers. So we have quite a few things going on. We have some battles ahead, and we'll take funding however people will do it. We'll take checks if you want to mail in a check. We've got our money bomb going on, which is tiny.cc/VCDLMB. That was a money bomb we started, countdown to lobby day, to try and raise $100,000. It's been going for 1 day now, and we're at like $13,000. We have another sponsor that they are selling optics on their site. I'm trying to get the name correctly. I think it's like Black Dog or something like that. But there's
something like that. Yes, might be Black Dog. It's like something I know.
I'll know it in 1 second. They are going to blackhoundoptics.com/VCDL. So the thing is, normally they sell at full retail. If you use the code VCDL, they're giving you 5% off, which is not, I mean, that's wonderful of them. Don't get me wrong. But the reason they're giving you 5% off instead of 50% off, number one, is because they have low margins. But number two is because when they give you 5% off, they're sending VCDL 30% of the cost of your optic and they're not even in Virginia. But a lot of places outside Virginia understand that Virginia is a domino, and whatever happens here is going to hit the rest of the country, which is why we got to stop it right now.
Yeah, as I said many times, freedom started here in Virginia, and America is not going to end.
Let's see. Pat says Mission First Tactical is going to offer AR magazines with the VCDL logo and the Gun Saves Lives logo, and are donating part of the proceeds to VCDL
too. So keep an eye out for these things. If you're out buying ammo and magazines and optics and whatever, try and look for the places that will also support VCDL. I mean, it's great if you send us money and go to our fundraiser, but if you needed to pick up a couple magazines anyway, maybe pick them up from a place that's going to support us as well. Someone's asking about shuttle bus prices. I think that's something VCDL is picking up. You don't have to show a VCDL membership card or anything like that. I think because obviously a lot of people don't even have a card yet, I think that's another one of the expenses that VCDL is picking up to pay for the shuttle buses, just to help get you to talk to your lawmakers.
The bottom line of this is we want to win this. We do whatever we can to win the battle. That's what this is all about. It's not about anything else.
Let's see. Pat was just reconfirming to somebody that it was a rule on the carry and not a law. So maybe that's a good one. So when after the committee meetings, like, what makes it a law? A bill, there's all these bills that we see. When does it become law?
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot of confusion about that. There was somebody was putting something out saying, oh, on January 8th, these laws are going into effect, and it was baloney. It doesn't work that way. First of all, they weren't even organized enough down there to the first day with the Democrats in charge to even set their own rules, much less begin passing bills. What has to happen is, first the bill goes to committee, and sometimes it goes to subcommittee. The bills on Monday, we're hopefully all going to go down there to speak against, to flood the room and flood the building and out into the street if we have to, are not going to subcommittee. They're simply in committee. That's what the Senate tends to do. The House almost always uses the subcommittee. So either way, it goes either to committee or subcommittee, and it's voted on. Then it usually takes a week, but it could be 1 or 2 days, and it goes back to the next level, which would be a committee. If you're in a subcommittee on the vote, it goes back to a committee for a vote. If it's only done in the committee, then it goes to the floor. If it was in a subcommittee, you got to go to the committee, and then they vote, and then it goes to the floor. Any of those places could kill it. Now, so that when it gets to the floor, they have to read the bill 2 times. So it's a minimum of 2 days go by before they actually vote on that bill. Sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's a few days. They can defer a bill and keep letting it go by day after day after day, especially if they're having problems getting enough people to support it. So once that happens and the body finally deliberates and votes on the bill, they finally, any delays or anything are worked in there, then the bill goes over to the other house. But the other body is not going to look at it just yet. They're all busy processing their own bills initially. And then I don't have the exact date. I don't remember. It was February 18th or February 13th, I think, is what they call crossover day. That's the day that all the bills that are left must be decided about, and any of those that have passed have to go to the other body. Anything left after that day is dead. So the bills go over to the other body, and then we start all over again. Those same bills that pass the House or pass the Senate, now in the opposite body, go to a committee, possibly a subcommittee. They have to work their way through those, which takes some days. It takes days to be assigned. Just because they don't do all the bills all at once, this can take weeks before a bill finally gets into a committee or subcommittee for a vote. Then it finally gets to the floor. It's got to be read 2 times, which is 2 days. When they read it 2 times, that's each time it's 1 day usually. They can waive that and do it all at once, but that's just rarely ever done unless it's very, very end of the session when they're desperate to get bills out before the clock runs out at midnight. Then that body has to vote on it. Now, if there were any changes, let's say the House passed the bill, and then the Senate got the bill, and they made some changes, and then they passed it. Now you have a problem. Each bill, it's the same bill, but it's different in the House than it is in the Senate. What they do then is they create yet another committee called a conference committee. They take 3 people from the Senate, 3 people from the House, they get together, and they work out a compromise. Or if they don't, if they can't come up with a compromise, then the bill's dead. If they come up with a compromise, it goes back to both bodies to vote on the final compromise bill, and they don't get to modify it. It's either, yeah, we'll do it, or no, we won't. And that's the end of that. If they both agree, the the bill goes to the governor. If either one disagrees, the bill's dead. And of course, if the bill doesn't get changed, after the second body votes on it, it goes to the governor. He then can make changes to the bill and send it back modified, which Northam has threatened to do with pro-gun bills. Or he can veto the bill, or he can sign the bill, or he can not sign the bill. If he doesn't sign the bill and doesn't do anything else, the bill will become law, but without his blessing. If he signs it, it becomes law right away, except it won't become effective until July 1st. All these bills have become effective in July that get through the system, July 1. And if he vetoes it, then it takes 2/3 of both bodies to override the veto, and that's not going to happen. If it's a, anyhow, they're not going to agree on any of the gun control bills 2/3, in either body, so that's not going to happen. So veto is going to stand.
Okay.
So,
Sorry. Two more questions that from someone is, one is, can you tell us about the NRA lobby day? And also, what senators and delegates are really kind of on the fence? So if VCDL members want to concentrate on someone that might swing our way, as opposed to someone that will never go our way, who should they concentrate their efforts on?
Okay, what was the first question?
NRA's lobby day.
Oh, NRA's lobby. Well, of course, we're not the NRA. We haven't communicated with them. So I can't tell you much about it, other than it's a lobby day. They just want a bunch of people to turn out and lobby. That's the day I'm asking you guys to turn out to fight the bills. And while you're there, that's an important point. I'm actually glad that the question was asked. While you're at the General Assembly, flooding the building and hopefully flooding outside the building, when that committee meeting is over, go in the building and then go to your senator and your delegate and lobby them briefly. Just go in there and say, no more gun control, Go ahead and do that while you're there. Absolutely. Face to face while you're there before our lobby day, that's fine. Come back for our lobby day if you want, but that way you'll see your particular senator and delegate, where on lobby day, it could be so much going on that you may get to other people's but not get to your own. So absolutely do that. Now, well, there are many. And of course, what we're worried about primarily are Democrats. There are Democrats, like in Virginia Beach, that won by 20 votes. Some of them have won by less than 1%. And you've got some, like, Senator Lewis. He represents the Eastern Shore of Virginia. Well, the Eastern Shore is bright green, green being sanctuaries. Even the little towns there are sanctuaries. There is no sanctuary for gun control in the Eastern Shore. And then the rest of the state too. But there's an example. You look at Roanoke, except for the little city, which has been fighting it and trying not to bring this up, but the county, all the counties around Roanoke, all of that is green. So that would be Senator Edwards. And then there's Craig Deeds. He's got one of the standout counties is one of those he represents, which is Albemarle, but he also represents Bath County and so forth, and those are bright green. And there are just some delegates and senators that I found in experience that you can reason with. If they can really see your logic in something, they will support it. And if they can't, or they don't, it's not something they think would make a difference on, then they don't. There are a few out there like that. Look, if you are represented by a Democrat, you are in the catbird seat for this. We need our members that are represented by Democrats to be merciless and constantly, I want you calling those guys every day and emailing them every day. I want their phones to be so busy that they think that the ring is on permanent. It's just constantly ringing all day. It just doesn't ever go off. They're going to think the phone's broke. And their emails, all they're going to be able to look at is gun rights emails saying, leave us alone, no more gun control. That's the goal. If you're represented by a Democrat, for once we're really going to lean on you. We haven't leaned on you as hard as we should have in the past because the Republicans were able to beat back this stuff. The world has changed now. That doesn't mean we don't talk to the Republicans. Yes, we do. And a few of them are a little bit weak. We need to to stay in touch with our Republicans. But you represented by Democrats, this is your chance to stand up and don't give us the, well, he doesn't care. Just, get in the fight. Get in the fight. I don't care the more people they hear from, the more you're going to shake them up. If you say, he's not going to listen to me, it's a waste of time. But his phone doesn't ever ring from anybody on our side because everybody's sitting there feeling sorry for themselves. Don't do it. They represent you. That's the job they wanted, so you're going to help them fulfill that job. It's by hook or by crook and by driving them crazy.
Pat just mentioned, be aware there could be some street closings, and we'll post those when we have them. Someone asked, what time should they show up on Monday to help?
Well, we start at 8, so if we want to help, I would say get there, anytime, probably around 7, even maybe 6:30. We're going to have people starting to show up that early.
6:30 or 7? And Andrea Porter asked a question that I can't wait to hear the answer because I'm excited to hear you answer. How many people are coming to Lobby Day?
I wish we had a little, crystal ball, but we believe at this point that it could easily break 100,000. 120,000 is not out of the question. It could be as low as 50,000. Keep in mind, on a normal Lobby Day, we can turn out 800 to 1,000. So there's no way I can imagine this would be less than 30,000. No way. And that's probably 100,000 short.
Apparently Mark Levine just mentioned you on his show.
Okay, I've yet to ever have the opportunity to be on Mark Levine's show.
Well, that's what I just heard through Pat, through Sandy or something like that.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Trying to scroll through these, kind of like watching them as, it's like a slot machine at Vegas. It's just scrolling so fast.
You know what? Let me just repeat this to everybody out there that's listening. We're overwhelmed. Everybody's overwhelmed. From our membership, I don't know how Ed does what he does. Of course, he's got a helper in Joanne, but still, it's overwhelming. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. At the end of this is what it takes. This is what it's going to take. And like I said earlier, this is like purgatory we're going through. None of us wanted to go through this, but I think to ultimately try to beat back this gun control, to leave us alone, this is what we have to go through. We had to go through this to wake up enough people to build a big enough force to hopefully put the kibosh on this. And I don't know when that'll be. I don't know if it'll be, certainly the next election in 2 years. A lot of things can be changed right then and there, and very firmly. But but this is what it takes. It's all good. You guys just keep it up.
Okay. Let's see if Pat had something. I'm just kind of going back between my computer and my phone to see.
Yeah, Pat's an amazing powerhouse.
Yes, people like you guys need. Do we know what press will be there on our side, or have national press about this?
Oh, yeah, the national press is going to be there. Oh, are you kidding me? Everybody's going to be there. Somebody had said a lot of the rooms were booked by the press. Oh, they're going to be there. Oh, you bet. They're stuck. They may not love gun rights, but they can't. This is an elephant in the room that's taking up the whole room. They can't even move, so they've got to address it.
Let's see. See no questions, just a lot of support. I see one of my state police friends. I'm not going to call him out, but he's saying we support you guys. So I guess that's a question that a lot of someone asked about, can they bring chairs inside? I don't, like folding chairs and canes and walking sticks if you're not allowed to carry any sticks for signs and you need a walker or a walking stick or a cane. Will they not let you in the Capitol Square?
I cannot imagine that somebody that needed a cane to walk through the Capitol. I can't imagine they wouldn't allow that. I absolutely cannot imagine that because you get into the rights of handicapped people. And there's some strong rules there about making sure people have access and everything. You can't take away their walker or their cane. I wouldn't even worry about that. As far as chairs, I don't know that one. I'm sorry, I don't know. I'll try to remember to ask the Capitol Police if there's any issues. There might be something on their website. You guys would research up there. Maybe somebody could go up there and look that up on and the General Assembly at Virginia.gov. General Assembly of Virginia. Oh, I'm sorry, that's an email. Virginia General Assembly General Assembly / I can't think of what the URL is now.
Yeah, we'll put it.
Google General Assembly, Virginia General Assembly, and then up there will be the rules, I'm sure, for the Capitol. And if you find them, send them to Pat so she can include it in her little list.
Okay. So to answer, one of our Facebook mods named Eric, he was asking, do you think this could be have the potential of being a historic event?
Absolutely. Hands down, no doubt in my mind.
Okay, and
this whole movement is historic, not just that one day. What swept Virginia, that map that's almost solid green, that in itself, I think was historic.
I agree. Let's see. Somebody just asked, you want to talk about the recall process and all the petitions and all that?
Okay. Look, I've talked to one of our key attorneys, and recall is not so simple in Virginia. Now, in other states it may be, but in Virginia, it's not so simple that you get a bunch of people, enough people to sign a recall, and then it happens. It doesn't work that way here. If you manage to get enough signatures, it goes to court. This is all put in front of a judge who looks at everything, and he decides whether this is a recall or it's not justified. And I think the odds of the judge, based upon what we've seen so far, now this could change maybe down the road if certain things do pass and become law, as far as looking at violations of oaths that protect and defend the Constitution. But right now there's just nothing we can do. And if you tried it with the governor, by the time everything worked through the courts and everything else, he'd already be out of office. So we would have wasted our time. Right now, honestly, my opinion is it's a distraction. We've got to stay focused on what's happening now. I don't want to get distracted fooling with a bunch of other stuff. We've got to solve the problem in front of us, and that's the General Assembly and those gun laws. That's got to be everything we're focused on now. We can expand out at some point. We're not getting sidetracked.
Should we all wear blaze orange so we stand out even without the stickers?
You could. Well, you wear what you want. Now, those that are going into lobby, I would suggest you wear business casual. You don't have to. There's no other code there, but that's what I'll be wearing. That's what anybody that's in there in any kind of capacity is tending to do. Therefore, you look as professional as they do. If you can't do that, or you don't own a suit, and I know there's a few of you that don't, that refuse to wear one of those, I understand. Then just dress as nicely as you can.
Okay. Well, I know we started at 7:15-ish or 7:20, so we've kind of been at an hour. I'm checking in with Pat to see if she has anything else that she wants to talk about, because in lieu of us not really having you on Facebook Live and me sitting there holding the phone, unless there's something else that you really want to cover or that Pat wants to cover, maybe we can try one more of these before Lobby Day or whatever.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get my computer it's my Facebook to cooperate. And then, I've got a beautiful backdrop now, or VCDL. It's a very nice backdrop.
I've just got a plain wall. So Pat was saying we know who our buses are that we are bringing. If you have a bus out there and your own city, county, gun range, whatever, are bringing a bus to Lobby Day, please make sure that you let bus@vcdl.org know, not only so we can help you fill your seats, but we can help you with your parking, help you with your shuttling your passengers back and forth. And Pat also reaffirms, make sure to stay in communication with us that you are subscribed to the free
VA alert email. We'd love you to join us for $25 for a year, which is a bargain compared to what we fight for. We're a volunteer organization. Ed gets paid nothing, and I work here all the time to try and get the information out to you. Make sure you're subscribed to the VA alert, whether you're a member or not. It's free, and you can give gift memberships. So if you want to make one of your gun buddy friends a member, you can use the PayPal and put his name in there and write to membership at vcdl.org and gift a membership to somebody. We've had a lot of people ask us about life memberships, which we haven't. Do you want to address that, Philip, or want me to talk about it? Yeah, we discussed. A lot of people ask, and my personal feeling on this, I'm not speaking for VCDL right now. I've just known from talking to people. Every year, if you have to renew, there's that little box that says, "Do you want to send an extra $5 to VCDL?" People do, and if you make it a lifetime membership, and they're like, "Okay, here's my blankety blank dollars to be a life member," then it kind of sits on the back burner, and they don't get that reminder to keep feeding the fire to make us go. And we want our members engaged to fight these bills and fight these issues that we've got. That's my personal opinion on it.
Yeah, but of course, we try not to hound everybody about money. We put stuff up. If you contribute, great. But you need to remember, you don't ever get a letter from us saying, "Yeah, send us some money." Don't do that. Don't do that like some of these other groups. Our goal is to win this. We're not in here. It's not all about money, but it does take money to run the organization. If we go to court over this, I expect if any of these pass, we will be headed to court. That's a vacuum cleaner on money. So that's why we're building up a war chest right now. But that's where the money right now is all being looked at as going for legal and anything else we need to support this entire effort.
Okay. And Pat reminds us that a life membership would also require a bylaws change, so you guys would have to go through all that. And right now is not the time because we're lobbying and we're doing the work.
Yeah, this is all stuff you do when things calm down. I don't know when they're going to calm down, but you have to prioritize, and our priority right now is making sure that we don't get any more gun control as best we can, or nothing disastrous.
Okay, so any closing remarks, Philip?
Just stay active out there. Just keep this up. Don't let the flame die out. Keep talking to people. Be involved in this. This is what we need to do now. But if we get everybody active, keep them voting, we can get the right people voted in. We can turn this ship around, and in the future we can relax. We'll never be able to completely relax. Everybody's going to need to keep voting. They're going to at least need to keep their eyes open and know what's going on around them, because the dark side isn't going to go away. We're not going to be able to wave a magic wand no matter how much we try, and they're gone. They are not gone. They will not go away, but then we're not going to go away either. We just need to make sure we're stronger than they are, and we stay that way to keep them in the shadows and not coming out and damaging America.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We had like 600 people. Now we're down to 400, and we'll try and set up another one of these. Stay tuned to the VCDL VA alert. And thanks for Philip for doing. I know it's very difficult to do it by phone like this, but I'm glad you're able to do it to get the word out.
Oh yeah, it's okay. Actually, I got to move around a little bit. It's still holiday, so this is actually good for me.